this is John with Mechanical Supply Company. In today's quick tip segment, we're going to go over diagnosing and troubleshooting furnace inducer motors. The first thing to do when diagnosing inducer problems is to remove the front cover and make sure the thermostat is calling for heat. If you're simply dealing with a noisy inducer, check all of the screws around the assembly to make sure that the housing itself is actually in tight. If you're dealing with an inducer that won't run, the first thing you want to do is check to make sure that you're getting 115 volts to the inducer. Set your digital multimeter to volts AC. Next, find the inducer plug and backstab the connections for your hot and common. You should be getting somewhere around 115 volts. If you're not getting 115 volts, take off the bottom cover and look to see if you're getting 115 volts from the furnace board. Remove the bottom cover and check to make sure that you have 115 volts at the inducer plug. Be sure whenever you do this test that you have the door switch tripped out. Use a piece of tape or something else to hold it in. Check to make sure you have 115 volts. If you don't have 115 volts, come over here and check to make sure your board has 24 volts by hooking your leads to red and common. If you have 24 volts there, the next thing to do would be to trip out the thermostat to eliminate it as a possible problem. You can jump out the thermostat by putting a jumper cable between red and W or W1. If you have 24 volts here, you have your thermostat tripped out, and you have 115 volts going to the inducer motor, then the inducer assembly is bad and should be changed. You don't typically change an inducer motor, you change the entire assembly. Another important thing to note when diagnosing inducer assemblies is to make sure that the motor spins freely. If the motor doesn't spin freely, then chances are you either have a bad motor or you have something blocking the inducer wheel from turning, like a bird or a squirrel that have come down the flue. If you have 115 volts coming to the inducer assembly and it's not turning on, then chances are you have a bad inducer assembly and should be changed. If you don't have voltage coming to the inducer assembly and you have the thermostat tripped out, then chances are your circuit board is bad and that should be changed. Thanks for joining us today for a quick technical tip. We'll be updating these often, so please check back frequently.